Welcome back, everyone. This is Positive Vibes Part 2. For those who missed Part 1, please go onto YouTube, log in, watch the video. We spoke about our project, what we're going to be doing. We're creating a positive music album to reach thousands of young people across London. We are now changing all that negativity that's out there, all the music that's inciting violence, all the music that's encouraging people to carry knives, gangs, music that antagonizes people. We're dispelling that, but we're keeping it real. We're putting music out there that's talking about people's real life stories, what people have been through, the pain that they're feeling, some real stuff that's going to uplift people, take people to the next level, and encourage and boost people's life rather than encouraging people to pick up knives and do negative things. This is Positive Vibes Part 2 by Unique Talent CIC, and we're calling this one Achieving Through Music. We're going to get straight into it. And if you do want to get in contact with us, our contact details are up here in the top right corner. You can get in contact. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. And I'm not going to go into too much detail with all of that. I'm going to get straight into it. Thanks for coming back again. We've got a group of 10 young positive people involved with this project, and it's an amazing to have you here today. Thanks, guys, for watching. Our session outcomes today is to understand this project, Positive Vibes, in more detail. Understanding your musical ambitions. What is your musical ambitions? Do you want to incite violence? Do you want to see people dead on the streets? Or do you want to see people lift up themselves, create business, and do positive things with their life? What's your ambition? Yeah? And I challenge everyone with that, young person, old, whoever you are, whatever walk of life you are. If you're doing music, what's your musical ambitions? Yeah? Maybe you don't even know, but it's time to start thinking about that. Turning a talent into a career path. What is your talent? And many people in London have talent, and right now is the best time for the UK in terms of music. We've got so many artists doing really well. The Americans are now wanting to do tracks with the UK. We're no longer wearing baggy jeans and baggy tops. The Americans and the Europeans are wanting to follow us. So we're trendsetters now. But with this talent that we've got in the UK and this swagger that we've got, how are we going to turn that talent and that following and that credibility into a career path? How are we going to monetize that? How are we going to turn that into a business? Because at the end of the day, I've been doing music for many years. And guess what? Not once have I monetized it. Not once have I put a business plan to it or taken it serious at that level. Now, that was many years ago. But those who are taking it serious now, if you're putting so much time and effort into it, and not only that, many people out there are putting money into their music. They're paying for studio time. Your time is precious. And if you're not turning or putting a business plan behind your music and how you're going to strategize and reach people, you're getting wrong. But we're here today to help people to do that as well. That's what this project's about. It's helping people turn their talents into a career path or a business. Understanding what it takes to achieve in music. We're going to talk about that today. So this is building ambition. Yeah? So anyone we did this in the last session, let's get into it. We really want to encourage people. We really want people to get focused, to be ambitious. And yeah, don't just sit around, do something about it. That's the method. If the statement's true, nod your head, put your hand up. Depends how involved you want to get involved with this. If you want to achieve greatness in the music industry, raise your hand, nod your head. If you want to make history, yeah, if you want to be like a Luther Vandross, if you want to be like a Ray Charles, but in the UK, yeah, nod your head, yeah. Or do you want to be someone who was just a gangbanger and did drill music? You've got to decide, man. Someone who wants to make their family proud, yeah. I'm sure Luther Vandross, I'm sure Aretha Franklin, all these artists from a long time ago, I'm sure their families are extremely proud. I've got a family member who's in the music industry and I'm proud. I love talking about her. Some of you may not know her, but I'm so proud to talk about my auntie and what she's done in the music industry. She's live on BBC all the time. She sung for the Queen's Jubilee. It makes me so proud. Do you want to do the same for your music, or do you want to put your family in shame because their son or their brother or their sister talks about gangs and knife crime all the time, and sends tracks about women and talks about women in a horrible way? Don't you have a mum? Don't you want to talk positive about women? One day you may have a daughter. I have, and I'm surely not wanting to incite man to rape girls and treat girls in a disrespectful way. Just think deep like that. Want to teach people from your own experience. Is that you? Do you want to teach people from your experience and what you've been through? I surely do. Hates hearing about another death on the streets of London or the UK. It pains me to hear about the death. Even in America, George Floyd died. A police officer had his knee and the neck back, and it hurt me. Yeah, and that's not even street violence. That's just police abusing their power. Hurtful. Want to make millions? If you want to make millions through music, nod your head, raise your hands. That's certainly, well, I'm past that now. I'm not really ambitious in the music industry like that, but I'd love to support someone to make millions in music if they've really got a musical talent. Are you super ambitious? Do you have goals? Do you have ambition? Do you want to strive for positivity? Are you ambitious for the future and what's ahead of you? Do you love music? Who loves music here? Put your hand up. Nod your head. All right. Don't just sit around. Do something about it. If that's you, if any one of these things relates to you, don't just sit around. You know, if you want to achieve greatness in the music industry, put together a plan. If you want to make history, put in the work. Put a plan together. Put what your values are for. Yeah, and we'll help you with all of this as well. If you want to make money or make your family proud, how are you going to do that? Are you going to do that by putting out negative music, talking about guns and gangs and how you slam up enough gal? Or are you going to put out positive music about your experience and what you went through and how you overcome poverty and how you set up a business and how you went through certain things and when you got stabbed, how you pulled yourself out of the gutter and when you went through a little depression patch and how you grew up in a hardship area, but now look at where you are now. Yeah, is that going to make your family proud? Of course it will. Don't just sit around. So, for those who missed it, I want to tell you more about the Positive Vibes project. This project is a group of 10 young people with professionals, and we're putting together a musical album, collaboration, loads of different perspectives, loads of different views, loads of different talents, singers, rappers, multi-skilled artists, and we're putting together an album with about 20 tracks, and the tracks are going to be put out in a professional way to reach thousands of young people. We're hoping to replace some of the tracks on their playlist with some of our Positive Vibes music. And we're going to put that out there. We're going to put a campaign together and we're going to reach thousands of young people. And with our message, we're going to influence people in a positive way. And with our message, we're going to spread positive messages. We're going to denounce violence. We're going to denounce knife crime. We're going to talk about the dangers, the true dangers of joining gangs, the true dangers of getting involved with knife crime, and the true dangers of getting involved with violence and beefs that you don't even know about. Yeah? You'll become part of a positive movement. This is going to be a positive movement, the Unique Talent Positive Vibes movement. We don't want no negativity. And if negativity comes in, it has to go out. Spread a positive message. You'll become a community ambassador doing what you love best, your music, but being a community ambassador. Listen, this is going to reach big people. We're going to push this to the BBC, to YouTube, everywhere, every channel possible. We're going to push this to. Yeah, and we'll give first dibs to our positive supporters, those who've supported us over the long term. You're going to change people's lives through your music. Young people, your siblings, younger brothers, sisters are going to listen to your music and be influenced and inspired by what you're putting out there. And you're going to inspire thousands of people across the UK with your words. You'll become more professional and understand the music industry better. Yeah, so we're going to teach you how to become a professional and set up a business plan and set up a career path for your music industry and for your personal career. And we'll create a professional music album with a positive message. That's the ultimate goal. It's going to be sick. I'm excited for this one, and I can't wait to be putting the tracks out on YouTube following this. So, what are your musical ambitions? Do you want to incite violence with your music, or do you wish to make a positive difference within your community? It's time to make full use of your talent and stop destroying it, because all you're doing is creating a negative history for yourself. Do you want to be known as the drill music artist who puts out negative music and stabs people and causes people to die and causes people to kick off his mum's door and causes people to try and assault him on the high street because he put out a negative message about someone last week? Is that you? Now, if that is you, it's not too late to change it around and flip it up. Now, I've said before, and I'm going to keep saying it, I'm not here to make you talk about fairies and blue skies. If you want to talk about it, you can. I'm here to make you talk about your real life experiences and your real life struggles. I'm here to make you turn your musical talents into some real poetry, some real artistic stuff. It's easy to talk about gats and guns and knives and shanks and bats. Easy. I can write 16 bars right now. No long thing. Hype. But I don't want that. It's dead. It's ugly. Yeah. And the truth is, if your granddad's listening to that, or your mum's listening to that, or your little brother's listening to that, is that making them proud? So what is your musical ambitions? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I used to fall into that category, but I did have a little positive twang, but every now and again I'd always fall into that negative category. So I'm not gonna stand here but like a hypocrite, like I've not been there. So I know what it's like. It's culture, it's normal. And if someone sends for you, upsets you, you're gonna want to send for them as well. So I get it. But what I'm trying to say right now is it's time for you to make full use of your musical talents. Don't put your musical talents to waste talking about easy things like gats and guns and whatever it is. It's dead, it's wasted. I want you to be ambitious with your music. You know, I want you to be artistic. You know, people look at Kanye West like he's a madman, but that guy is musically talented. That guy is gifted. And if you listen to some of his songs, if you go onto his album Jesus is King and listen to some of the talent on there, and some of you may disagree, what's he talking about, Chris? He's mad. But there's other artists like Kanye that are really talented and put their music to the full test, and they really get ambitious and creative with their words. And it's almost like poetry. Is that your ambition? What do you want to achieve through your music and your writing of lyrics? Do you want to achieve greatness and a legacy for change, for influencing change through your music, for influencing it and motivating people to overcome struggles? Look at what Bob Marley did with his music. That guy united nations in difficult times. That guy spoke about get up, stand up, one nation. Look at Sizzla Kalonji. He spoke about mama. He spoke about coming together. He spoke about overriding poverty. Yeah? Look at Conscience. Jamaican artists. And that's why I rate a lot of the Jamaican artists. Yes, you got some artists that talk about violence, but even the ones that are talking about violence in 50% of their tracks, Mavados, yeah? Even Vibez Cartel, as nasty as he is with his lyrics, them man have got some positive tracks, yeah? And I want to encourage people like Vibez Cartel, the Mavados, to really clean it up and really give a positive message, because most of their music, if we're going to Jamaica, is about sex and gal. And the way they talk about women has no respect. It's almost like they ain't got no mama, they don't have no respect for women. So I really want to encourage you and the people that are putting out these musics to really think about what consequence that your musical ambitions is having on society and people, especially those who have big followings and are reaching out to many people across the nations. You know, think about what your music's doing and how it's going to reach people, because your music will have a legacy and your music ain't going nowhere. Once it's put out in a domain, it's there to last forever. And do you want your music to be out there forever in a negative stance? Because when you turn 50, you're going to look back at that and be like, raw. I've got music now and I'm only in my 30s thinking, geez, is that me? Like some real gangbanger stuff. I can't even believe it. It's interesting because I was in a youth club once, and some posh kids from Wimbledon used to come into the youth club. And they used to talk about slapping mums and banging this and doing this. And I was like, I'm looking at them like, there's no chance you're a gangbanger in this fashion. There's no way that is you. And the truth is, our music's really got to reflect our life. Now, if you are going through poverty and you are going through gangbanging and people are stabbing you, there's a way to talk about and articulate that right poetry. Yeah, you can articulate that wicked and talk about how it hurts you. The real feelings of getting up in the morning and having to worry about being stabbed in your back or being shot. How that feels. Yeah, let young people know what the reality of that is. The anxiety you feel when you wake up in the morning. That's some real deep stuff. And that's where I want you guys to be ambitious. That's where I want you guys to have your musical ambitions. Now, how do we pursue a musical career? It's simple. It takes time. Everything you want in life takes time. You cannot rush through nothing. You cannot think you're going to become a musical star overnight and blow up overnight. It's not going to happen. Most of the artists in the UK that are blowing up now, and respect to them, have been consistent. They've not stopped. These guys were going from 2000 when it was grime, when it was Lord of the Mics, and those who know them things knows what I'm talking about. When it was Sidewinder. Yeah, those people are still doing their thing right now. And it's interesting because we see DEE doing the IKEA adverts. This man was spitting in basements back in 2000. We see Wiley putting out big tunes on Vivo and big tunes on with international artists like Sean Paul. Yeah? Even more recent and more current people like Stormzy, people like Krypton Conan. You know, these people were putting out gutter music back in the day, but now they've become mainstream because they stuck at it. And it takes time. But with that time, you've got a plan. You know, you can't just think you're going to put out music and there's going to be pop luck. Now, don't get me wrong. I will admit, there are one or two people who put out an odd tune and blow up overnight. It can happen. But it's very rare. And it's hard. It doesn't happen all the time. You could put out a little catchy tune and it can catch a little vibe and it can go viral. It can happen. I'm not going to lie. Try your luck. But the truth is, most people that blow up and are consistent and have long careers and create a legacy in history have a management team behind them. They're planning, they're preparing, they're practicing, and they're dedicated to their music career. It's a business and it's a career. It's a full-time job. There's no joke behind it. Try writing a 16-bar proper that gets some real credibility and people following and looking at your music with respect. It's hard work. It doesn't happen in a day. Yeah? Like I said, I can put together 16 bars talking about clapping man down and running up on your house. That's not a problem. I can do that quick, very easy. But to talk about theory and the injustices and what's happening in America with George Floyd and the poverty, some real like Akala type stuff, poetry type stuff, that takes consistency, it takes dedication, and it takes practice at your craft. Yeah? And that's what it's going to take if you want to pursue a music career. You've got to listen, you've got to learn, you've got to put your pride down and maybe get a mentor who's going to help you through it, or a manager who's going to help you through your musical career and guide you and take you to that next level. And most importantly, don't just do music just for the sake of it. If you want to do music, you've got to love what you do. Don't just do it to tick a box. You have to love it, you have to be passionate about it, because like I said, it's a career and it's a business. And if you blow up, you'll be on tour all over the world, traveling, doing the same songs. So love what you do, because you'll be singing that same song 1,000 times. You got to love that. Trust me, because your mouth going to get dry. Oh, gosh. So, nice, short, sharp session. Not too long, yeah? This is about the ambition, having drive, yeah? Being positive. You know, creating a legacy, creating a history for yourself. Don't have a legacy where people see you as that negative black guy or that negative white guy or that negative geezer who puts out music on the streets. You know, that guy, you know, he's not good, you know. He's a big man, but he's influencing young kids to stab people and get involved with crime. Yeah? That's not good. That's not what we want. We want to stop people from stabbing each other. We want to make people know what the reality of what it's like to go jail. I went to prison and it's hard. It's horrible. So all those people talking in the lyrics about riding prison in the toilet seat is nonsense. Yeah? When you have to spend 23 hours a day in a prison cell and you've got no one to talk to and you're on your own and it's just you in four walls and your mind's going crazy because you think your girl's cheating on you and your mum's going through financial difficulties and your friends are sleeping with your girlfriend and all sorts of stuff's happening on the road that's out of your control. That's the reality. And that's what needs to be heard in lyrics. That's what needs to be heard in music. That's what we need to be pushing forward, some real stuff that's going to help people. Not the selfish stuff that's going to get us our little ratings because we clap 2 guns. Dead. Yeah? And that's why we do the hashtag enough is enough, because people are dying because of the insight of violence through music. The negativity through music. And people look up to it because it is cool. We've created a culture in the UK where negative is cool. Negative is in. It's fashionable. And we've got to break that. And hopefully it doesn't have to be, like I said, all fairies and roses. We can talk about some real stuff, but we can make it real poetic, real gritty and pulling on heartstrings. I want music where people listen to you and they're crying at the end of it. How about that as a legacy, as an ambition? So what's next? Next week, Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the business. We're going to go into how you can turn your music industry, your music into a career, into a real business. We're going to go into some deep stuff like mechanicals, you know, how you get royalties, all these deep stuff that you don't really know about. But this is where you take your music to the next level, and we want to help you with it as well. So stay tuned, ask questions, log on to uniquetalent.org.uk, go on our Instagram, Twitter, all that sort of stuff is there. It's right in front of you. You can log on right now. We're on Twitter, uniquetalent_UK. We're on YouTube, Unique Talent 4. All sessions will be loaded on there as well. Instagram, Unique Talent CIC. Our website, uniquetalent.org.uk. info@uniquetalent.org.uk. And if you want to have a discussion about anything we've spoken about today, 0203 479 5344. Big up to all those who are on the project right now, and the music that we're creating is going to be sick. I can't wait for it to go out. It's going to bless so many lives, and what you're doing is amazing. You know, you should hold your head high. You should tell your parents about what you're doing. It's going to bless so many people. Look forward to catching up next week.